up to this point, we always worked with one single HTML file. So our website is made up of one HTML document. And that's okay. Some sites don't need more than one document. But here I actually do want a second document. I want a second document which basically shows us a preview of the challenges for the rest of this week. Because on the main page we have the daily challenge, so for today, and we would probably adjust this every day. But then I also want a second page where I can already see my goals for the other days or for the next couple of days of this week. And therefore, I'll add a new HTML file, a new page for this website in that same directory. And you can name this file however you want. You can't name it index.html because that file name is already taken. And I'll therefore name it fullweek.html. Now that's a second HTML document. And in there, I want to have a content for that preview of my challenges for the week. And of course, I also want to set some styles then. Now for this, the very first step now should be that we create our HTML skeleton. Because we learned about this skeleton with doc type, HTML, head, body, and every HTML document should have this skeleton. So we want to create it here again, but instead of typing it all manually, Visual Studio Code has a nice convenience feature for us here. If you just type an exclamation mark, you should get this auto suggestion pop up here. And if you then hit enter, this skeleton is created for you. It actually has more elements than the skeleton on the first page. We have these meta elements, which we haven't seen before, and we have this lang attribute on HTML. But we can ignore this for the moment and just fill out the title and choose a title of our choice. For example, my upcoming challenges, and then add the body of this page. Now a quick word about this lang attribute and those extra meta elements. This lang attribute defines the language we're using on this page. And it's optional, but you can add it, and I will add it to the first page as well, therefore, and make it clear that I'm using English as a language here. This can help if you, for example, have different documents in different languages and you want search engines to pick up the language correctly, but also screen readers to understand which language you're actually using. Because it's, of course, not necessarily English. It could be German or French. So adding this doesn't hurt. Now, the other meta elements here are not too important for us right now. With meta jar set UTF-8, we're basically just telling the browser which characters we're using on this screen. And we can copy this to the first page as well. But at the moment, it won't make any difference at all. But adding it also doesn't hurt. This is a line of code which we can remove here. We don't need it at the moment. And then this here, that will become more important later once we talk about responsive websites and responsive website designs, which don't just work on a desktop browser, but instead which also look good on mobile phones. So if the available width is way smaller, then this will become important. At the moment, we can remove it because at the moment, we're just focusing on this desktop website. And we're going to dive into responsive web design, which also looks good on other devices later. So therefore now, that's the adjusted skeleton for this second HTML page. And now I want to link to this page from my first page. And there we have this paragraph with a link. And I'll use this paragraph and just change the text slightly. Instead of linking to some learning resources, or Google actually in this case, I'll just say explore the, and then inside of the link I'll say full week. So here I'll say full week, and now I want to link to this other HTML file. And that's easy. We can link to a full URL as we did it here for Google. But you can also link to another HTML file by just providing a relative path to this file. In this case, I want to just link to full week HTML, And since that's in the same folder as index.html, we can just use that file name to create a link to that file. And if I now save this, maybe even restructure this because I think that's also very readable. If I save this, now we have this text, and if I click this link, I'm taken to that second HTML file, as you can tell by the title in that tab here. But of course we have no content there yet, because that is something which we have to add now.